Hi there, hello Kay Gifford. Sorry to take so long to start here today, but I couldn't get the cork out of my bottle. That wasn't good. I struggled, but where there's a will, there's a way, and there was a will. So anyway, yeah, wow. This week I've been focusing on the store. Really important things going on. Once again, I'm Linda Kay Gifford. Welcome to my bedroom office workout center, bathroom, shower, also down there, studio, music and otherwise, pastel center, idle chatter. Where to start? Wow, so much going on that is disturbing. I am the owner of feelgoodfairtrade.com. Happy Autism Awareness Month. I recently discovered, although it seems so obvious now, that I'm an Aspie woman and that I check all the Aspie boxes. And so I am especially celebrating my first year having actually, done the tests and talked to a therapist and that sort of thing. I consider it a superpower. So I'm definitely going to work in more about how I realize I look at life differently. I didn't realize that before. I just thought y'all were, knew something I didn't, or some of them y'all were weirder and some of y'all were dumber and some of y'all were super smarter and have everything figured out that I don't. And now I just get it. Wow. Once you understand things, so if you are someone who might be on the spectrum, because a lot of women are not diagnosed. Most likely there are as many women as men. We just are not diagnosed because of the same old thing that we talk about on here all the time, because of male patriarchal, what's the word for it? The bias. Right? There's a male bias. There's a gender bias as far as what gets researched, what gets pointed out. Also, if a girl is socially awkward, she's just shy or something. Whatever. I'm going to do a couple shout outs. Don Lemon, I love you. I care about you. I'm so sorry to see you cry. But I'm also glad. Thank you for showing your true heart and feelings. You and all the other news anchors. I don't think I have not seen every single anchor, at least on CNN and MSNBC, cry this year at some point. Also, officials, police officers, sergeants, just, you name it. Everyone's been crying, doing a lot of crying. Representative AOC, thank you to you. Shout out. Thanks for being the person you are. Thanks for being tough. Thanks for having the right vision for humanity. And thanks for calling a spade and not being too pretentious to say, hey, I'm a waitress. I was a waitress and I didn't have insurance until this year. You understand the boat a lot of people are in. So we need more people like you, AOC. Tucker Carlson. Shout out to Tucker Carlson. You are the dumbest motherfucker I've ever seen, ever. There's just something incredibly wrong with you. Dope, moron, but worse than that, like a beagle on a trail capable of just running down. You get that wrong thought. And the problem with these uneducated conservatives are not the greedy ones that know what they're doing, the uneducated ones that are allowing themselves to be peasants. They just get it in their head, this is what I'm going to prove, and all they're doing is listening for things that prove what they already think they know. So they never learned anything. You can't learn that way. We have to teach our society how to learn. That's what it gets down to. Education, education, education. Because we just can't kill them all. So, education, education, education. And it's also the 5th step in my advocacy program, my not self-help, I hate that. But if you know me, you know I am not a proponent of 12-step programs that rely on an outside higher power, because unless the higher power is something that you consider sourced within you, not given to you, not residing in you, not something you beckon and call and wish for and pray to and eat wafers and drink wine and say, you know, can I get into heaven now? Not that. I'm talking about higher power within you. Then, okay. But these AA programs, they just lead people astray so badly. It works for a while, and it only works if you're a religious person. And, you know, I'm a spiritual person, but I'm fascinated by religion. I like to study religions. I have shelves of books about religions, but I'm not a religious person. So, where does someone like me, who is not interested in AA at all, where does one go if they reject the higher power nonsense? Well, you look within yourself. And I'm a PTSD victim, survivor. I hate victim and I hate survivor terms. The term victim is perpetual. You're never okay. The term survivor is completely okay. You're all done now. You're good. You survived. As I've said 100 times, and I'll say 1,000 more, there is no graduation date for survivors. Surviving sexual abuse, PTSD, and any kind of PTSD, and just the cumulative societal trauma that we're all feeling right now, and this manic depression I described last week, all of this gonna have to go inside now. We're all gonna have to go inside ourselves now, because the one thing you can be sure of is what you feel inside yourself. When people are putting it into you and you're grasping at that, I guess I can't reach those people. I guess I can't. I've reached a few. But when the fear and the guilt that some religions put on people gets so thick and resides so darkly in their minds and souls that they can't even entertain the thought of anything else, then we have things like planetary destruction, climate change out of control, people who actually are in office who would execute homosexuals, representatives who coordinated insurrections, stuff like that would happen. And that would be really bad for that to happen, wouldn't it now? We wouldn't want anything like that. Motherfucker. Oh, so back to my shout out list. I want to give a big shout out and a big I'm sorry to, I don't know his name, but the Capitol cop that was killed today. Going to work, standing by a barrier, protecting our representatives. And he's dead from mental illness. He's dead because we allow that kind of dogma. We allow this guy, now that's turning up that he thought the government was controlling his mind. He was a victim of mind control at the hands of the government. I'm like, oh, holy crap. Wow. So, who's to fault there? You know, oh, he's just crazy. Well, who puts it in these people's heads? I mean, yeah, there's a curve where I think you're just smarter than that. But we've got 74 million people voted for Trump. So we know a huge amount of people are not smarter than that. They're not. Because anybody with any intelligence, unless they're rich, unless they're in it for greedy corporate reasons, anybody with any intelligence is not voting for Trump. So we've got a huge dilemma here. We have a nation ripe for civil war because half of them nearly are fucking idiots. And what do we do with that? Where do we go with that? That is an unpopular thing to say, but I wholeheartedly believe it is true. And, you know, personally, I think there should be like an IQ test for, and I don't mean a old-fashioned IQ test that's just facts. I'm talking a real one that measures a person's ability to reason. And if you can't reason, and then hey, maybe a spirit heart test. You know, those people, let's put them off. And well, let's see. This brings up, I'm tangenting, but I'm thinking internment camps, or let's put them out to work. They'll be the peasants who work for us, instead of the rich having everybody else of any intelligence level stuck underneath them. How about we divide it by, you're just dumb as a rock and you can't learn. They get to go do the hard stuff, the easy stuff, or I don't know how you want to look at it. Okay, I'm walking down dangerous paths here, I know, but I'm really having a problem with giving an equal vote to, with going with majority vote if they become the majority. So yeah, I do have a problem with that. Then I'll be throwing democracy out the window. I'm only trying to save democracy because it is a dream that is supposed to equalize things and help everyone. If it's not doing that, if it can't do that, if by its very nature of majority rule, it can't succeed in saving the habitat we need to live and stay alive in, then all bets are off. So that's why I'm fighting really hard right now, and I suggest you do the same thing for educating the population, because we need a majority to be sane, because we don't want to do anything drastic. I don't want to do anything drastic, but I sure as hell would if it was the fate of my planet at stake. So there's that. Shout out to Governor Cuomo. Oh, not Governor Cuomo. I'm sorry, Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo. Oh, back where I was. So you're saying all the right things. I know your heart's in the right place. I like you as a person. I watch your show. I record it. But you said Representative Gates, who is our next shout out and pretty much the lead off for everything we're going to talk about from here on out. You said that he was with an underage woman. And you repeated that. You said that he was with someone who was a 17-year-old woman, an underage woman. Okay, guess what? Underage and woman don't go together. That's the whole point. That's what you and your brother, and again, I'm not going to just throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, y'all horrible people. I'm saying the culture that you continue and that you need to wake up, and I know you want to. I know you're trying. So here, I'm going to give you some advice, Cuomo's, Governor and Chris Cuomo. Please listen to me. Do not refer to minors and underage children as women. It detracts from the whole point that they're being taken advantage of. When you call them women, people get in their mind someone with a voluntary choice. And even if a 17-year-old is making a voluntary choice, it is a poor one. And the law has decided, and we have as a society decided, that because teenagers are capable of making such terrible, terrible decisions, that they at least need to be over the age of 17 to do so. Therefore, when you're referring to a minor in a crime, please call them a child. Okay? That's going to go a long way to helping you. It is. Now, I guess final shout out in the news would be to Representative Gates. Where do you go with that? Okay, innocent until proven guilty, sure. But it sounds like all of his own colleagues want him out. And I mean, who goes on the floor and shows people pictures, naked pictures of people that he sleeps with, and brags about it. A matter of pride, a fellow representative said. It was a matter of pride to him to show people pictures of people that he slept with. Now factor in that he's all buddy with, what's the guy's name? Joel Greenberg? Greenberg? The other guy, pervert guy in big trouble. Wrote it down somewhere. Joel Greenberg, yeah, Trump buddy. Well, guess now they have a video. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Now they have a video. You disgusting pervert. I want to add again. Gates, you're through. You're so through. I hope you're through. I don't know if he'll be through or not. But now the video shows him talking, Joel Greenberg showing Gates the operation, and has a video of him showing him the sex trafficking operation. And that's pretty solid news. That's pretty solidly sourced news. So again, that factor in that professional whores, hookers, prostitutes, shouldn't call them whores, sorry, sex workers who fly to conventions say that more than twice as many of them go to the Republican National Convention because that's where the action is. Those guys are crazy. Evidently, progressives and Democrats just don't buy hookers much. So it's like a dud to fly yourself out to a Democratic convention to get you some sex money. Just a tip in case you want to go into sex work. Anybody? Personally, it's not my thing, but as long as a person is not impoverished or doesn't, but that eliminates about everybody. And we talked about that last week. So really, while I want to say that I think sex work should be decriminalized and legalized, I also think that most people who would choose to go into it have been disparaged against in one way or another. So I also think maybe I should back out of it and not do that. The verdict is out, is what I'm saying. If you know everything, even in your own mind, then you're not thinking hard enough, because there are two sides and many sides to a lot of things, and we have to weigh the pros and the cons. We do. And Representative Gates, wow. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. The whole story prompted me to sit and talk with my son Willie, my 16-year-old son, for about an hour. And he listened and he learned. And I could tell, and he asked furthering questions and all. He's old enough. And I encourage you to do this with your children, girls and boys. When they, he turned 16 in January, and I can see a change in him and his understanding of the world. And I'm kind of gave him an overview and an underview and an interview of womanness and, stringing things together like we still haven't passed the Equal Rights Amendment, and how we've got way more rights than people in most countries, and it's still sucky here for women, and that we don't have equal protections. And then worse. And then I explained to him how it is in other countries for women, which I'm not going to go into now because that would take too long. I just want to throw that in there because I always say educate and advocate. Do it with your own kids. I've got 3 boys, and it's super important to me not to raise helpless men. Always has been. Oh my God. So, they say it's our fault. What are you wearing that outfit for? Assault, sexual attention. Why were you drinking? Why were you drunk? I was watching, AOC and watching people talk, reading comments about other people's, experiences. And as you know, I am writing a book about my experience as a long-term victim of childhood sexual abuse. I was groomed for it for years, and the society allowed for this. It's not just my brother-in-law's fault, ex-brother-in-law's fault. It is society's for allowing things just stand the way they are. So we're assumed, people are harassing AOC. They're saying, they got a hashtag, AOC lied, right? Assume that she's lying. This all came up again this week. You know, what came up after the insurrection, and Nancy Mace, the representative, saying, well, I was right down the hall, blah, blah. But then the videos surfaced, and she did an interview where she was saying she was terrified. She was in a tunnel with 100 other people, and you know, she felt like a sitting duck. It was a traumatic event. I'm quoting her. And then she turns around and after that said, well, I don't know why AOC was scared, because I was 2 doors down and there was nothing. So she's just blatantly lying. And that's the thing that I'm so upset about, is from Tucker Carlson to Nancy Mace to Marjorie Taylor Greene to Representative Gates, just everybody just blatantly lying is the thing to do now. To think that we've come so far or gotten so low as a society. We're not even a society anymore. This is not a society. What's going on in America, it's so split, I don't even know. I'm going to have to come up with some other name, because the society works together, and right now we've got a couple of them working against each other. I'm trying to figure out ways to redouble my efforts, and I'm super happy to say we are very, very close now to Sweet Survivor merchandise, and to every one of my Earth 2.0 stores launching independently. So good stuff's going on, working hard at it. I just had to come on and say, this week has just been killer. I mean, I've been working hard, working around the clock, but part of the reason I do that is because I don't get depressed, I get manic. And so many things. Do you know there have been over 20 mass shootings? That means over 4 people killed this week in America. It's just become a way of life. So we all find ways to deal. But one of the ways to deal can't be acceptance. It can't be acceptance. So don't accept anything. Don't do that. I'm not going to go through the steps today on what to do for personal growth. We're going to get back into that kind of stuff next week. I actually was taking this week off, but I just felt like having a glass of wine and venting. So thank you for hanging in there with me. I think, as I've said before, you should know that I do this because you help me so much in the conversations that are spawned from my live streams afterwards and in my group and all. It's just invaluable stuff. So I'm feeling very thankful. I'm also feeling very pissed off. We'll talk more. I want to get more into the whole how we present thing, but we're gonna do that. Oh, one more thing. How messed up is this? Think about this. Here's some food for thought. Russian guy kidnapped 3 teenage girls, kept them in his basement, impregnated one of them 3 times. Had 3 kids by him. They were, I don't know if they were rescued or got out, but over 4 years they spent in his basement. And the reason this came up is because he was released. He did his time. He was given 18 years. You can take 3 teenagers, take their lives from them for over 4 years, lock them in a basement. Oh, I'd add rape, beat, and starved all of them, as well as one of them had 2 children while in captivity and was pregnant with the 3rd when getting out. That person isn't dead. That person didn't get a death sentence. That person didn't even get a life sentence. He was interviewed by a famous socialite who is like a mayor's daughter in Russia who does a TV show, and she interviewed him, and she was getting crap for not asking him tougher questions. She was asking him like about his sexual preferences at the point that he said that he heard that this girl in his 18 years in prison, that she didn't have any more babies and he could go take care of that for her. I'm like, a lot of the times I just look at somebody and I wonder, why are they alive? Why are they still alive? I'm going to leave you on that note. We'll be back to our regular schedule Monday through Friday. Bye. Oh, and look for the release on Sunday. Sunday, major release of several domain collections at feelgoodfairtrade.com. We're going to have standwithgreta.com collections. Stand with Greta, Be as Fetus, and all the rest. I'm about to list 10 domains. You know what I'm talking about. I'll post it. Bye. And remember, I say again, why are they still alive? Why? Because we can't kill them. We have to outvote them. Let's do that. Let's outvote them.